What's good, everybody? It's your boy Caseyfield, KSF for Life Wrestling Takes, here to give you my honest take about tonight's AEWDynamite. As you can see, I'm doing it super late because I was out driving, and my driving was justifiable. This show absolutely sucked. This is one of the worst episodes they ever put together. I don't listen, man. This circus clown known as Anthony Khan. I want somebody to clip this, take this to this fool, tweet at him, say whatever you have to say, do whatever you got to do. But clip this and send it directly to Anthony Khan. What the clown was you thinking with this bull jive episode that you gave us tonight? This was one of the most garbage episodes I've ever seen. And here's the deal. It was some decent things that took place on here. But there was pretty much no direction. None. I don't get why. Listen, you are trying to be the second largest wrestling promotion in North America outside of WWE, right? You want to consider yourself as competition, correct? What you gave us tonight is absolutely filth. This episode was nothing but filth. Unnecessary spots, stupid storylines, and dumb matches that just didn't make no type of sense. I'm like, bro, what are we doing? I'm like, I don't get this clown. The clown loves to give us a great pay-per-view and then come back, and then the episode after the pay-per-view just be not even worth watching. And then, ladies and gentlemen, normally I give Toronto or Canada as a whole nothing but praise because Canadian fans are just as crazy as us out here in the States. This had to be the worst Canadian crowd I've ever seen watching any wrestling promotion. But you know what? TK and them really ain't give them nothing to cheer for. This show was garbage. This was a trash episode. We got no direction. We got maybe 20% direction, and the other 80% was just filler that made absolutely no sense. No sense whatsoever. I'm like, what the clown are we? Tony, are you legit hanging out with Vince McMahon and Triple H on how to not book a wrestling show? Because that's exactly what it feels like. Those circus clowns can't book Raw and they can't do nothing. They can't book SmackDown. They just wasting their time. Now here you come over here, coming off a great pay-per-view and giving us a bull jive show like this. This show is terrible. I maybe had maybe 3 or 4 things that happened on this show. Unnecessary booking. This show was garbage. Absolutely garbage. I watched this show. I said, man, I went driving and it was justified. I came this close to actually being home to watch it live. This close. So far this has been a terrible week for wrestling. The first Monday Night Raw was skippable, and then that bull job, that unjustifiable crap they pulled with Melo, and I saw Melo somehow found a way to beat Baron Corbin. It's funny, they gave Baron Corbin his Lone Wolf theme song. I'm like, he should have won, because to me Melo is nothing. It's over. People gonna say I'm tripping. Carmelo Hayes' career in WWE is going to be, listen, when he come up to the main roster, what you saw is what you're going to get used to, because he's going to be coming in, he's going to be losing, he's going to be losing more. Triple H, Vince McMahon buried the mess out that man. His NXT championship is over. So we had that bull jive happen. Then we come here and watch this bull jive show. Bull jive. Just bull jive at the bull jive at the bull jive. Terrible booking. Stupidity don't make no sense. Like I said, the best stuff that happened was this clown right here. These 2 clowns. They were the best thing on the show. You know, I'm going to get on him. I'm going to talk about this. Ruby's promo was somewhat decent. The main event, man. Listen. Listen. Let's just break down this show, because I could just be sitting here just belly aching for a long time. But I got to get, first of all, I got to get out of here, get ready to lay down. So let's go ahead and get this garbage review over with, and we go on from there. So We open the show. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly what I do not like about Tony Khan. He does not like to carry over from a pay-per-view and then let's just plant right into it. Let's plant right into what we witnessed at the pay-per-view and kick off from there. Now, he had the right two dudes out there, but the problem was you didn't have to open up with the match. We're coming fresh off a pay-per-view. We could be hearing from Eddie Kingston. Eddie wants to make amends with Moxley. Moxley's ticked off and he wants to kick Ishii's behind, right? Let's start them off. Let them try to confiscate and try to get everybody on one accord. That's what we need to start off with, because that's supposed to be your biggest storyline moving, right? Nah, Tony Khan opened up, and guess what? We right back to the trash Wild thing. That song is terrible. I hate that song. I absolutely hate that song. For the Moxley heads out there that's probably going to be mad at me, I don't give a care. That song is terrible. That song is garbage. It's utter trash. The theme song he had, his New Japan theme, it makes the group a more sinister group. Moxley couldn't wait. Him and Ishii just smacking each other around, just kicking each other's tail, slapping each other, DTing each other, busting each other up. I say, yep, Moxley's back to bleed, ladies and gentlemen. He's back. The bleed clown is back. Why you think I call them the blood combat clowns? Because the blood is back. It's back, ladies and gentlemen. You love to see it. You love to see it. So during the matchup, Kingston just come walking out. He's furious. He's ticked off. So he grabs himself a front row seat, and through the whole time, you see Claudio not taking his eyes off of that man, just looking at him. I say, Tony Khan is just doing things backwards. You're supposed to open up with Eddie Kingston trying to confront Moxley, trying to amend things, trying to get back on one accord with his homeboy, right? No, Tony Khan said, I got to give you the match. This is what I can't stand about Tony Khan. For you fools that sit up here and tell me that I deride this clown, I don't deride no garbage Anthony Khan. I check this fool when he gives us bull jive crap like this. This is stupid, ladies and gentlemen. This is just straight stupid. I don't get him. I do not get this clown. I'm like, bro, we just coming off a great pay-per-view. And you do this. Listen, the right men were out there. So I'll give him props. He had the right two men out there, but we don't need to jump right into the wrestling. Let them confront, and things don't go right, and then Ishii come out there, and then we do the matchup. And then everything that transpired afterwards, I was cool with that. I had no problem with everything that happened after the matchup, but it's just this is what he does, and he does not give. Let me tell you something. I'm telling you right now, Tony Khan does not like to listen to somebody who wants to give him wisdom. There have been plenty of people in the IWC. There have been plenty. I'm guarantee you, I bet you, there's some clowns that work in the back that have been trying to tell him, like, man, we need to do it like this. And he keeps having Excalibur say, we're going to go right into the action. Ah! I can't. I just can't, man. I can't not. Listen, man, wrestling right now, it's a fluctuating thing. 1 minute we going up, then it's not this. It's not going. It's like it's doing. This is what we're doing. We're going. No direction. Wrestling TV is not for garbage wrestling matches over and over and over again. Wrestling TV is about building up stories to make somebody. I gotta tune in next week. This show told me, don't watch it live. Do not watch it live. That's what this show told me. Everything, I'm telling you, I ain't even finished. Man, I tell you, this show is this company, man. And listen, I root for them, man. Yeah, listen, I'm hard on Tony Khan. I get on this clown's case because I want them to succeed. I'm not like these other cats in the IWC that just find anything to nitpick and just hate on them because they want the company to fail. I do not want this company to fail, but if you continue to keep doing idiotic booking decisions, it's not going to end well. It's just not. So for my hardcore AEW fans that sit up and believe everything Tony Khan does is great, it's not. It ain't, ladies and gentlemen. It's not. This show is prime example that you need to figure out, okay, Dynamite needs direction. It needs a direction, and it needs to stay in that direction. Quit pulling the bull jab that you keep pulling, because it's not going to end well. It's just not. People was tripping about the ratings on Collision. I'm like, listen, man, it's on a Saturday, $5.95. Listen, no, it was not the best show. I thought the first episode was great, but it's at a different time slot. And like I said, every time cats on Saturdays is not home. I wasn't home. I was out doing my rideshare business. People are out on Saturdays. Ain't nobody thinking about, I got to watch wrestling. No. See, the name of the game of the promoter is you got to make fools want to be there live to tune in. If what you're presenting is trash, man, ain't nobody going to watch it. All cats are going to do is just destroy your product. That's it. That's it, man. Ishii Moxley ended up winning. So then Kingston, him, just going back and forth, arguing. And then next thing you know, the whole BCC just beat the brakes off of Moxley. Beat the brakes off of Kingston. Beat the brakes off of Ishii. Like I said, man, they're trying to develop storylines. I get what they're trying to do, but it's just backwards, man. It's just backwards. So all of this just led to them walking to the back. So obviously they would end up eventually beating up with Renee. So we'll talk about that when I get to that segment. So that's it. So Renee is talking to Adam Cole. Now, for me, I want to say this probably was like one of the high spots of the show. Adam Cole apparently sounded like he did sound like he was congested. So obviously he had some type of illness, and it's unfortunate. Britt Baker caught what he had. There's no word on what it is, but she caught what he had because she was out this week. He was gone. He came back. Now she gone. Don't know what the clown going on in their household, but so she's talking to Adam Cole. Vehicle pulls up. Next thing you know, MJF pulls up with this "I want to be your buddy" foolishness. Clown. Listen, MJF's a clown, man. Talk about, hey buddy, man, we're gonna figure this tag team thing out. We might as well just go hang out, go party, and be butts. And Adam Cole like, nah, bro, nah, So then Roger came out of nowhere, and he called him, who is this generic white boy? I said, man, listen, MJF let me tell you something. I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to sound like he's a quote unquote hip guy, but I'm like, nah, man, just cut it, man, cut it. But the two of them are going to try to figure this thing out, and this is what I'm going with. More than likely, we know Jay White and Juice Robinson are going to be in that eliminator tournament, so they need to hurry up and make the announcement. I think what's going to happen is it's going to come down to they're going to run through everybody, and then they're going to get to Jay White and Juice Robinson, but they're going to lose because MJF is going to do something stupid to Adam Cole, and that's going to cost him. And I believe that's what's going to lead to the rematch at All In. I'm serious. That's what I'm going with. But I thought this segment was decent. It was all right. Like I said, it was a hot spot for me. Like I said, Tony Khan, he does his shows so freaking backwards, man. It's like, man, it's like, bruh, start with the story with the promo first or do something. You ain't got to always open up with a freaking match all the freaking time. Man. But Moxley versus Ishii, it was a pretty solid match. I'll give them props. The first matchup, it was a good match, but his priorities are backwards. It's all mixed up, and it's like that's not a good show. That's not how you start. You starting off weak. You got to start off strong. The match was good, but the way how things are all twisted up, it's not going to be elevated right or executed right. It's not. It's just not, man. But it is what it is on that. So we come back. Renee is talking with Moxley. She's talking with Eddie. And the two of them are just arguing back and forth, going bickering, talking about what they could plan on doing. Now you got the rest of the BCC standing right there. He said, I got your back, man, but you decided to pick this bum, Claudio. And then Renee is telling the both of them to shut up and calm down and everything. And she's ticked off, so then Moxley walks off. And then she tells Kingston to fix everything. She said, I'm done with the both of you. Now, you know Moxley's going to be sleeping on the couch. Anytime your wife is mad at you, you already know you're in trouble. Fellas, you know what I'm talking about. For all my married folk, for all my dudes that with girlfriends or married, y'all know what I'm talking about. If your lady's upset with you, you know you sleeping on the couch. Come on now. You already know what I'm talking about. But listen, the story is there. It just seems like everything is, man, if Tony would have just did what I told him to do that first, I actually would have had no problem with this. Now the question is Renee, because Renee is upset. She does not like to see both of her dudes beefing. They all one a unit. All of them are one unit, but she's upset. Moxley's a clown. Eddie Kingston's a clown. And she like, I'm done with the both of you clowns, so I'm going over on decent second. So then we get a video package promo from both Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega. So there's a lot of people that was worried about Kenny Omega being possibly injured. No, he ain't. Now listen, was the move a dangerous move? Absolutely. And I'm talking about the Tiger 91. That when he did that power slam and the way he landed on his head and his neck, this is why I say unnecessary spots in AEW is a no-no, ladies and gentlemen. Because we're going to talk about an unnecessary, matter of fact, it's an unnecessary spot that happened in this matchup coming up. But I'm going to talk about the unnecessary spot that happened in the main event. So they two cut a promo on each other, as in Kenny Omega pretty much said, yeah, the better man won, but I'm coming back for my championship. And Will Ospreay said, you want another shot? He said, you know where to find me. In other words, we'll do part 3 at All In. So I thought this promo was good. Great video promo from the both of them men. They had the match of the night, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, see what TK needs to do. He needs to capitalize off of that. But he does not do so, And a lot of people say, well, he's still learning. Look, man, you've been in the game for 4 years now. You've been in the game for 4 years. You just did all the studying you need to study. You know what you're supposed to do, but you're not executing it right. You're just not. I tell y'all all the time, you're not going to catch me coming up here shilling out for this company when they do bull jive crap. It's not going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. I keep it 100%. Y'all know I keep it 100% with the E, so you best believe I'm going to keep it 100% with AEW. Speaking of which, this is a random matchup that they did not need to have. Because why? Tony Khan must have OC on the show. Can't help us. So we got ourselves a random trios match. We got Vikingo, Keith Lee, and OC versus the Jericho Appreciation Society, which is Angelo Parker, DG, Daniel Garcia, and Daddy Magic, Matt Menard. Ladies and gentlemen, you could have saved this for Rampage. You honestly could have put, or you could have set up something. They probably could have did something in the back, or they could have had OC cut a promo about what he plans on doing with their championship. Then you could have had Vikingo come out there. Then you could have had Keith Lee come out there. Then you could have had DG and the boys come out there, and then you could have set up something for next week or do something. Don't just keep putting these random matches together that don't make sense. Listen, I like pro wrestling. I'm a pro wrestling fan. You're a pro wrestling fan. We've been watching this stuff forever, correct? Random matches are not what keep people want. That does not make for great wrestling TV. This was what causes people to turn the TV off. I don't care how good all three of these cats are in the ring. Ladies and gentlemen, random wrestling matches on TV with no story is not what's going to get the views. It's not. Reasons is why I don't even waste my time with Ring of Honor. Because Tony Khan will have about 15 billion matches on that show that have absolutely no story. And then I'm supposed to go out my way and pay for that and watch it. Nah. Listen, I like wrestling, but I ain't that crazy. Now, in this matchup, Vikingo. And speaking of Keith Lee decided to cut the gray out. He shaved his beard and he dyed his hair back black. He was tired of the old man jokes. People was just giving it to him. They talking about him. He said, screw it. He looked like a young man. He looked like the Keith Lee from NXT. I said, you know what? Hey, listen, I really wasn't really tripping about the gray. It was just that him trying to run out here looking like a dang wizard. I ain't know what that was about. But The gray really didn't bother me. A lot of people was tripping about that. You know what I'm saying? A whole bunch of people was tripping about it. But he just said enough. So he cut the gray, cut the beard, shaved his face, back to the baby face look, got the black hair again. Look fine to me. There was a spot. So Vikingo was supposed to be jumping on the Jericho Appreciation Society. This fool flipped and kicked Keith Lee in the head. And Keith was mad. Keith was like, ah. So what he did was he picked him up, but he used him as a shield, as a weapon to lay out all the clowns and everything, you know. Like I said, man, it is what it is, man. My main focus of this matchup was just watching Keith, because I really didn't care about nobody else's, man. I know Vikingo's great. Like I said, every member in this match is great, but it's a random thrown together match. This is not what gets people to watch your product. Listen, us hardcores, we're going to watch. I'm talking about the casual people. I'm talking to people who just randomly turn to TBS and say, oh, TBS got wrestling? You know, no, that's not what gets people to tune in. Like, I know Keith Lee. I know who, you know, that's pretty much, unfortunately, that's about it. I know OC's over. Like, a lot of people don't really know Vikingo. A lot of people really don't know who DG is. A lot of people don't know who Angelo Parker or Daddy Magic is. So, but a lot of people know who Keith Lee is, right? But you got to make something. Like, make something. Something. Don't just throw together a random match. And here, another thing. Here we having these random trios matches for what reason? For what? Ain't nobody trying to go up against House of Black. So we just doing this just to be doing it. Because I got to have OC on the show. I got to have OC on the show. No. OC and them in the winner. Keith Lee was the last man in there, so he laid out. I don't know if it was a DG or was it Angelo. It was one of them. Got the 1, 2, 3. So obviously this is to make Keith Lee look strong, but still something that ends up happening towards the end of the show that's supposed to take place on Dynamite. I'm going to talk about it when I get there. Makes absolutely no sense, but this is the whole point of this doggone Eliminator tag team match crap, where you don't know who you're finna be tag team with, you know. But, yeah, that's that. So, we get a promo. I would have saved this for Rampage. I'm sorry. Listen, man. It's a story development. Dynamite television. And so think about this. Rampage is your third hour of Dynamite. So you know how you got Monday Night Raw is 3 hours, right? Dynamite is 2, and then Rampage is pretty much the third hour of Dynamite. Okay, this is what they could have did. They could have cut a promo talk about Kenny, say what you need to say about Kenny, but you can also say, hey, we are back in the hunt for the AEW Trios Championships, but we got to go through the Dark Order. Cut a promo and make it meaningful. Make it make sense. I understand. We know Hangman has beef, or he was formerly tight with the cats in the Dark Order. Set up the beef and set up the match for Rampage, right? That's it. You don't need to do it directly on Dynamite following another Trios match. The back and forth with all of them was great. I thought it because all the members of the Dark Order said they're not tight with Hangman no more. And you know, Hangman felt like he feels guilty because he left him behind the fact that he ain't talked to them in 12 months. What kind of mess is that? Like, or 2 months or something? What did they say? He said, you ain't talked to us in like 2 months. Now you want to be cool again? Develop the story. Put it on Rampage. Maybe somebody might want to tune in to Rampage. Or if you don't want to do that, you can save it for next week. Just create something. Make somebody be like, okay, I got to go out my way to see this, man. Don't just throw it together and be like, we're going to do it right now. But that's Tony Khan's booking. I don't know who's influencing him to keep coming up with that. Maybe it's the Bucks themselves. Maybe they thinking that this is the great way to do it. It's not. This is terrible. This is one of the worst episodes they ever had. And they had some pretty bad episodes. But like I said, Hangman trying to apologize to Evil Uno and them, and they ain't not accepting. I'm like, all right, save it for Rampage or save it for next week. Develop it. Don't just try, we going right into the action. That's all that's all they know. They don't know nothing. They don't know nothing, man. I'm like, that's why I say this company is so bipolar, because they come off with the great pay-per-view, and then you thinking like, okay, the show They finna cook. They about to cook. No. They didn't. They didn't even turn the oven on. They did. They just, we're gonna try to eat and ain't nothing. It's just an empty plate. That's basically what they gave us. We did not eat at all. We might have had an appetizer, but we didn't eat no full dinner. We didn't eat. We did not eat at all, man. We didn't. So we got an update on Brian, his situation. Brian will be out. He won't be out no 6 to 8 weeks, ladies and gentlemen. This fool, I seen the fracture. Brian is done. Brian is done. Now, I did not watch his video because I know listen, that man, that's all that man know how to do. That man said Brian needs to call it a career. You know he not. King Mike, you know dang well he is not calling it a career. Come on now. But here's the deal. He got to be careful. But here's the deal. The move was a regular move. Because I saw when Okada jumped on his elbow, it's a regular drop kick to the elbow. It's regular. It ain't no crazy move. Broke his forearm. I seen this. This is a deep fracture. I said, he ain't wrestling for a long time, ladies and gentlemen. We may not get that man. What is this? June. We may not get this man. Let's see. June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Man, I don't know. We might not see Brian until next year, man. I don't know. But see, this man. Well, like I said, I like the video footage. I liked it. And they pretty much let you know that this is only part one. That they definitely going to be running this back. We're not sure exactly when they're going to run it back, but they definitely going to run it back. So now we got Renee trying to talk to Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara about Sting and Darby Allin, about what took place at Forbidden Door, one of the worst matches I've ever seen. Listen, man, it didn't need to happen. In the main event, as much as people like the main event, we didn't need to do that. We didn't need to do it. We did not need to do it. I know Tony Khan got to have some action. He had to, but we just didn't, man. Like I said, it was an okay promo, but man, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Jericho, listen, Jericho first coming to AEW was a wise decision, and putting the championship on him was best for business because didn't nobody know who Hangman was. That was a wise decision. That was 4 years ago, ladies and gentlemen. We're now 4 years in, and we're still trying to use Jericho. Listen, man, I'm kind of tuning out on Jericho, man. I really am. I respect him. He's a legend in the game. The best thing that we need is the storyline between him and Sammy. But this pretty much, if you want to say it did make some story, but it ain't really doing nothing for me right now, man. I mean, he just talked about Sting. That was pretty much it. Upset about what took place at the pay-per-view. So you're like, all right, I got to get my revenge tonight in the main event. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So then we get the matchup. This matchup, it was a good match, man. Like, here's the deal. A lot of people do not like, they don't like the Dark Order, and y'all already know how people feel about the Elite. This was a good trios match, but I'm telling y'all, man, save it for another show. Just the story, put some more story into it. Don't just give it away and then put it on TV right after, and then, man. That's what I say, man. This company, man. I don't know, man. I just don't know. I mean, it was, like I said, it was a very good trios match. I'm not finna sit up and hate on the cats. All 6 cats did a great job, man. But I think if you really wanted to just develop some more story, maybe Dark Order should have went over. But they didn't. Dark Order are nothing more than enhancement talent. Dark Order has turned into one of the biggest jokes in AEW. And now they trying to come across as believable heels, but Tony Khan ain't doing nothing with them. So they just constantly keep getting beat up by the Elite. I mean, if you seen one match versus them, you seen them all. It is what it is on that. So obviously, the Elite won. So after that, that's when the BCC came out of nowhere and all the members of the Elite got jumped. They got beat down, bleeding all over the place. Moxley hops in the ring as a frustration to dealing with Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston got jumped again, and he said that when they go to the TD Garden, which is where the Celtics and the Bruins play, we're gonna do blood and guts. Decent promo, but I don't really feel anything, ladies and gentlemen, because obviously they've been feuding for a long time. It is what it is, man. You know. But like I said, cats like, well, they got beat down. I mean, that's what you want. I'm like, you could have did this. Maybe if you say this for Rampage, maybe I feel it a little bit more. But no. So that was that. That was that segment. So then I just talked about that, the beat down. Then they showed now I like this. They showed a promo of all the members that's in the men's side, the Owen Hart tournament thing. Every member that's involved, that's going against one another, cut a great promo. I like this. This was great. This is off the chain. They did a great job. Now, again, I talked about this. Roderick Strong, Adam Cole. He said, who is this generic white guy? I talked about this earlier. Roderick Strong is going against Samoa Joe in the Owen Hart Cup tournament. He told him, he said, hey, bud, let's roll with me. He wanted him to go with him. So he said, all right, man. He said, don't trust. He said, I don't trust his buying. I don't. So they finna go party somewhere, but Roderick Strong got to get ready for his matchup against Samoa Joe. You know, decent. Now let's talk about it because we got to address it. They did the right thing by having him turn on Hook. That was the right move. But this promo from Jungle Boy, ladies and gentlemen, Jack Perry. First he comes out there. He still comes out the Tarzan boy, but he said, "Cut that crap. Cut that music. Cut it." He said, you fans wore that song out. He said, it used to be my favorite song, but you fans wore it out. I don't give a care about it. So then he tried his best to address the whole situation about what he did with Hook and everything. And I got to be 1,000%, y'all. Man, he just does not feel believable. He doesn't seem believable. If you are going to be a heel, you got to come across as everything you're saying, I believe. Like, you selling me a bag of goods for real. You ain't just selling me some rinky-dink crap. Whatever you saying, you got to believe it. And he kind of was stumbling over his words, and the crowd was booing him, and then they weren't booing him. And I said, man, you ever seen, somebody try to do stand-up comedy and fans don't boo? I mean, fans, they don't like him, so they start booing him and then start throwing tomatoes and all that stuff. That's kind of what it felt like, trying to adjust everything that he was talking about. Then he disrespected his girlfriend, which is Anna Jay. Talk about, I'm having sex with the baddest bee in the game, or something like that. Trying to sound like Jay-Z. I'm like, crowd kind of popped for that line, but but he said hanging out with a privileged boy that ain't really done nothing with the championship, and y'all mad at me. You should be mad at him and all this stuff. So he just rambling on and on and on and on. That's when Hook came running out there. Now Taz on commentary said, I can't wait to see him get his A whoop, because he was ticked off. He chased that man all the way out backstage. Now I did like that backstage part. They chased that man. He chased him all the way till he was able to jump inside of the truck, and the truck drove off and everything. I thought that was pretty entertaining. I thought it was cool. But the promo work, man, he might need a manager, ladies and gentlemen. He might need a manager. He needs somebody to talk for him. Until he can get comfortable and cutting heel promos, like, man, you might have to go hang out with MJF or something. Go hang out with MJF. Hang out with Christian. I know you beefing with that man right now, but hang out with Christian. Christian he's a genius when it comes to cutting promos. Hang with him. Get your confidence up. Listen, I'm going to ride this wave, but it's not starting off good, ladies and gentlemen. It is not starting off good. Like I said, I like the chase off. The chase off with him and Hook, that was great. I thought they did a great job filming that and doing that. That was great. But, man, it was hard. It was a hard listen, ladies and gentlemen. It was hard. I sat there and I kind of had my hand in my phone. My head was in my phone, ladies and gentlemen. I kind of was doing one of these numbers because I was like, I'm listening. I said, he does not sound believable. He does not. Here's the deal. I like Jungle Boy. I'm not like my main man Jeff, who can't stand him. I like Jungle Boy Jack Perry. I like him. I believe this is the right path they going. He needed a change of scenery, he needed the whole package, all of that. But I think as of right now, till he gets comfortable and talking on his own, he might need a manager, ladies and gentlemen. Like, they might have to find somebody from somewhere to somewhere and have that person pair with him so that he can do all the talking for him. He just be a devious heel that just beats the snot out of, just keep beating the brakes off a hook. You know what I mean? And like I said, he talked about getting screwed out of AEW championships and all that stuff. So anyway, then you had the cue cards from Sammy. I didn't care nothing about that. So the replacement match. I told y'all Miss DMD got sick this time. So whatever Adam had, she caught it. She couldn't be there. So Tony Khan said, hey, we're going to find this some young kid that's from Toronto, Canada. Her name is Alexia Nicole, and she's going to be the jobber for Ruby Soho. Ruby Soho made me to her. She beat the brakes off of her. It wasn't even a match. She tore that girl up like 1, 2, 3. She destroyed her. So then she got the opportunity to cut a promo on Britt Baker. And pretty much said, I ran all your hoochie mamas off. All the girls that you had trying to attack us, we stole all the. We took your championship. We took all your girls out. All, like I said, you at home sick. Like I said, and all you clowns out here, this city is terrible. He said, she even mentioned the whole forest fires thing. Speaking of which, man, this stuff's crazy as heck. Our city has been hit with nothing but clouds and smoky. It was just smoke all over the place, man. It's crazy. But she said what she said in this promo. Tony and Saraya was out there with her. They spray painted the young lady and everything. I thought it was a decent promo, you know what I'm saying? Because obviously she said, I'm going to make sure that you don't make it far in the Owen Hart Cups tournament for the women. Right to the point. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. She kind of was long-winded at first, but then where she needed to go, she went there. I'll tell you this. She can command the crowd better than what Jungle Boy tried. You see what I'm saying? Because she had more practice of talking in front of the crowd, unlike him, who he's had practice, but he just doesn't come across as believable. Ruby, on the other hand, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because she's had opportunities to be in front of the crowd and talk in front of the crowd and everything. But, yeah, decent promo. Matchup, it was a squash fest. Because, like I said, this young girl right here, hometown hero, just to do the job, because this wasn't even supposed to be a match. This was supposed to be the Owen Hart Tournament Cup match. But Miss DMD caught whatever Adam Cole had. Now she was at home. So we get ladies and gentlemen. I mean, listen, this show was already bad. Tony Khan decided to show that crap that took place at Rampage while they was out this way with one of the worst segments I've ever seen in my life. That was a terrible segment with Anthony and what was the name? Harley Cameron. That segment was terrible. And then we come right back. They addressed the situation, whatever they said to them. And Johnny Mundo, Johnny TV, this segment was terrible. This was absolutely terrible. I know you want somebody to watch Rampage, but if I see this and I'm like, wait a minute, that's John Morrison, and I'm listening to how he talk, he sound generic as heck. That ain't the Morrison I know. The Morrison I know could cut an excellent promo, and this foolishness that he was out there cutting sound terrible. It sounds something like some Vince McMahon would write. It was terrible, absolutely. So obviously they're going against Ben Hardy and Isaiah or something like that, and I think it's a handicap match, I guess. I don't know. Or no, it's not. It's gonna be QT and Johnny TV versus Bat and Isaiah. Squash match. That's all it is. So main event. All I'm going to talk about is the spot. So, these clowns decide to get 2 tables. The ladders in the ring. Here's the tables. The tables is all the way down the street somewhere. You got a ladder in the ring and you going to try to jump. Unnecessary spot, ladies and gentlemen. And people just caring about all the chaos that was going on. Man. You talk about an underwhelming show. This was one of the worst episodes I've ever seen. Listen, I've seen some bad episodes of Dynamite. The main event was, man, look, and I said save this match from the pay-per-view and put it on the show. Sting jumped off so first it was supposed to be Darby. You had Sammy chilling on the table, right? Sting decided to tell Darby, no, I'm going to do it. I'll say, first of all, the man is 64 years old. He should not be jumping off no freaking ladders, man. He should not. That man jumped off the ladder. He jumped through, like he jumped him and he went through one table, but his face hit the edge of the other table, so he bit through his lip, and I think he lost one too. Listen, man. Shout out to Mel. I saw what Mel said. He said it's unfortunate, man, but he said somebody gonna end up, Tony Khan them gonna end up getting a lawsuit because somebody gonna mess around and get paralyzed in the ring, and that's what we don't want. We don't want that, man. We just listen. We want these wrestlers to entertain us, but we don't want nobody getting hurt where they can't wrestle no more. Sting should not be doing no foolishness like that. 64 years old, jumping. No. That's not entertaining, man. It's not. And first of all, AEW do it so much. It's like they do it so freaking much. It doesn't mean anything. I can see if you barely did it. These fools jump off ladders and jump through tables like every episode almost. Man. So it ended with Jericho and Sting trying to do each other's move on each other, but once again Jericho lost and Sting and Darby ended up winning. Darby was getting beat up the whole time. I mean, let's look at, man. Y'all know Darby ain't nothing, but he just want to be Jack A crew. He want to be a part of the Jack A crew. He want to be a part of Jack A so bad it didn't make no sense. If you watch every time he comes out there, that's all he know how to do. Is come out there, just get beat up. That's it. That's all that man be doing, man. He ain't doing nothing. And then Sammy G, man. The storyline is Chris Jericho and Sammy G. That is the story. So next week on Dynamite, if they are not opening the show with what took place and the main event, and Chris Jericho calls Sammy G out, if they are not opening up with that, I don't want it, ladies and gentlemen. If we are not opening up with that, or we're not opening up with what took place with the beatdown of everybody from the Elite to Eddie Kingston, if we are not opening up Dynamite with that, you can keep it. You can keep it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm serious, man. Man, I done went on for a long time. I appreciate everybody who's tuned in. I tell y'all all the time, I come here, I give you 1,000% the realest of the real. Not finna sugarcoat nothing. Not finna lie to you. Not finna sit up and say, oh, Dynamite was a banger this week. No, it wasn't. This is one of the worst Canadian crowds. Tony Khan and company didn't even try. You're coming off a great pay-per-view and you give us a garbage episode of Dynamite. It makes no sense, man. But then they showcase everything that's finna happen on Collision and everything that's finna happen on Rampage. I'm like, why are you even trying? Like, you're not even putting forth an effort. At least put forth an effort. This episode was terrible. It had a couple of decent things, but overall, man, this was a skippable episode. You could have skipped this episode. And like I said, all the cats that's finna destroy this episode, destroy it all you want. I don't give a crap. Because I'm destroying the show. It was terrible. Then you got clowns. Listen, man. I'm cool with this cat. He's a hardcore AEW head. He actually used to do videos. I don't know why he doesn't do videos anymore. Y'all know this man. He's one of the biggest AEW shields I know. His name is Real. This fool had the nerve to put up, talk about something. I've seen enough. And he had Sting greater than I'm like, I said, okay, now, listen, man. I like the both of them. I'm an Undertaker head. I'm a Sting head. But what the heck are we doing? Bro, what the heck are we doing, man? We're going a little bit too far now. Like, it's one thing to give this company praise, but bro, sometimes, man, we be chilling out a little bit too much. That's just too much chilling going on, bro. Too much chilling. Too much chilling, bro. I seen that tweet. I said, what? Come on now. Come on, man. We capping harder than that thing. We are capping. This episode was garbage. It was a terrible episode. You coming off a great pay-per-view, and this is the filth that you decide to give? Come on now. Come on, man. Listen, I got to get the clown up out of here. Hit the comment section up. Hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. And I'll talk to y'all cats on Friday. Holla at your boy, or Saturday, one of the two.